Is anybody out there? And as always, we're just going to wait for the audience to build up, and then we're going to get started. Chandler should be joining me soon. We're going to be discussing hey, Micah, how's it going? We're going to be talking about Veronica and the power struggle for the haves and the have-nots this season. So just bear with me, just waiting for Chandler to give me a call. Hey, Joyce. And is everybody out there ready for the mid-season finale tonight? Hello, Richard. And hey, can everybody let me know if you can see the screen and if you can hear me okay? Again, if you can hear the screen. Why did you laugh tracks? Well, at least the haves and the have-nots doesn't have a laugh track. Ready? Yeah, Wendy, you're ready. Eminem's Network. Yep, you're ready. Perfect. All right, and I just chatted Chandler. And I don't know if you all saw, but I did post a video about 30 minutes ago talking about that clip that was released on the haves and the have-not, have and have-not Facebook page about Veronica getting a phone call from Candace and learning that Erica has moved in with David into her dream house in her dream neighborhood. And I don't know about you, but I don't feel sorry for her. Yeah, laugh tracks suck. Oh, 1 second. Just waiting on Chandler here.
Hey, Jeremy, how's it going?
Hey, all right, and yourself?
Going well, sir. Just got back from a couple-day vacation in New York.
Oh, dang, lucky. I've never been to New York.
Oh, I love it in New York. We got to see everything. Times Square, Central Park.
Nice. Hey, the only thing that's missing is, seeing one of the stars from the show up there. I mean, they're over there doing radio shows all over the country, man. Shoot.
I thought about that. I thought maybe I'll get lucky and see Veronica or maybe even Melissa.
Not Angela Robinson. I know either yesterday or the day before, she was on 94 point something. I need to go back and look at that interview online, but she was talking about the finale tonight. But I gotta say, I don't want to say I'm hyped because I'm kind of disappointed that this is going to be episode 10 and we're going on a break. And I'm not looking too forward to that. But maybe that means we'll get more episodes in the back half of the season. Maybe that means the show will return before May. But all I got to say is I'm not looking for too much to go down in this one episode because it's only episode 10. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, usually we get like 11 or 12. So next time when the next season, when the back half of the season comes on, I'm hoping we get like 13 episodes or 12 or something.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's because of the whole situation with, the pains and if loving you is wrong. He's trying to balance out the show. That way he can have all three on the air at pretty much the same time, so to speak. Maybe that's what's going on. That's what I'm thinking, because given the fact that if Loving You Is Wrong came back earlier than earlier than it usually does, just so we can have, as I call it, like a Tyler Perry block, where you have and have-nots, if Loving You Is Wrong, a day off, and then you got the pains.
Yeah, I like that. I hope that continues.
Yeah, I mean, say what you want. At least it's 3 shows for the price of 1. I mean, yeah, they aren't perfect, but at least it's something to get me by. That way all of my television programming isn't restricted to, superhero shows like The Flash or Black Lightning. But I got to say, just a heads up to everybody out there, I have a list of videos I want to do during the off season, pretty much within the next week after the show goes off. I still got If Loving You Is Wrong videos to do. Of course, the haves and the have-nots, but just a spoiler, I still need to do that live stream. And I think I want you to be on it with me talking about reboots, because I actually read an article that a couple of the actors from the Parkers said that they would be down for doing a reboot, and I'm like, Lord, well, I know it ain't going to be on Netflix.
Right?
Yeah, and then the whole, and this might be controversial, but the whole O.J. Simpson thing with the interview he just did, it was like from 2006, 2008, that interview was released. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm like, I'm going to watch it, and that might warrant a video, but that's pretty much what's happening maybe a week from today. So let's jump on the subject for right now. We're talking about, pretty much the power struggle that's going on this season, mainly focusing on Veronica. So I've already spoken my piece in a couple of videos. So if you want to take it away, we can get started.
All right. Well, the first thing I want to say is, you've seen the video clips on Facebook, correct?
Yes.
When I didn't feel too bad, but when Veronica was talking to Candace, I kind of felt sorry for her. She sounded so pitiful. She sounded like she was just heartbroken. Oh,
yeah, I didn't know if you saw, but I actually just posted a video about 20 or 30 minutes ago on that very clip. Like, I literally did a video.
I just watched that. I literally just got finished watching that before we got started.
Oh, perfect. Well, you pretty much know what my thoughts are in terms of, I kind of felt sorry, but again, I'm not really following these characters with their personality shifts. Like, 1 minute I'm like busting somebody upside the head with a bottle or making them throw up and, saying I'm going to do this and that. And then all of a sudden, what? He bought her a house? And I've always wanted to live there. He said it was too expensive. Like, where is this coming from? I can't even talk. Take it away. I need to watch the episode for some context because there is no consistency. These characters, like Catherine going from cold-blooded murderer badass to, oh, I'm Hannah's best friend that's going to hook her up on a date and whatnot, and it's like, now, hey, I don't give a damn about going to jail, Jim. I want a divorce. Now it's like, we need to get out of this. I can't wait to do a video talking about like 5 storylines that need to go away. And I will say this much. The reason I am happy is only 10 episodes. I can really be more constructive with my criticisms on talking about the good and the bad. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. There has been a lot more bad in these 10 episodes than good. And I've said it 100 times before. Hannah's Tea and Aaron Boy, in my opinion, were the 2 best episodes of this season so far. A Great Gamer, shout out to all the subscribers. Hey, Great Gamer. Hey, Lady T. Tony and Joyce. I would love to see a reboot of Moesha and the Wayans brothers. Again, that video is coming. But anyway, go ahead.
That's a whole nother time. Let's just get back on the subject for right now.
Yeah. So go ahead, take it away. Those are my thoughts right there. My initial thoughts.
Well, I just think that this is. I was laughing when Candace was being so. She's like, "Are you deaf, bitch?" Apparently, I need to repeat myself. Yeah, that's what I said.
Again, I mean, the only time. Remember, what was it? After Candace found out her son was dead and she was walking through the Artesian Hotel lobby, and Jeffrey was, Veronica was taking a jab at Jeffrey and Landon walked off, and Veronica said something to Candace, but she kind of just walked off because she had just found out about her son. That's what I feel about this scenario where Candace is the one stabbing the knife in deeper, while Veronica is just kind of like, oh no, that house. He barely even knows her. Again, it's at least with Candace, there was a legitimate reason why she didn't respond. But with Veronica, I think I said this before. It's like her being so shocked and whatnot. It reminds me of when she saw Jeffrey kissing Landon in front of her face. It's like she hears this stuff from the people's mouths, but until she sees it with her own eyes, that's when she's speechless. Hey, everybody. Oh, 1 second, Chandler. Everybody in the chat. Can everybody see the screen? I'm seeing some chat saying that the screen is loading. Let me try to refresh it real quick. If you can hear me, just let me know. I mean, this isn't like a super long live stream, but this is kind of like I feel like I'm going to do this live stream with you, and I'm going to have a friend come over. Somebody I haven't seen in like 4 or 5 ever since I left my job. We're just going to hang out for a little bit. Then I'm going to do another live stream, like a pre-finale live stream, and then I'll do a live stream right after that one. If you want to jump on that with me around 10:15, we can do it.
Oh, I'll be more than happy to. If you'd like to have me, I'll be more than happy.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. But let's see. Waiting on this screen to load back up. Sheesh. Come on now. Just made it back to the apartment. And it's funny how the live stream when I was at home, it was working just fine. Like I didn't do but like a 20-minute live stream talking about my predictions for the mid-season finale.
I'm still wanting to get, and maybe, hopefully, if it works out one day, I'd like to be on a live stream with your mom because I really want to get her opinions and thoughts.
I wanted to too, but she didn't want to get in front of the mic. I'm like, for Ma? She was like, do I get paid? I'm like, well, it shows me how much each video makes so we can split it. But things didn't work. Yeah. Mainly because this whole snow thing, that just threw out things out of whack. Golly.
Because I would like to talk to her. I would like to talk with her as well.
Yeah, I know a lot of people tell me on Twitter and all, it's like, get your mom on here and whatnot. Sheesh. But anyway, let's see here. Where were we? I feel like when it comes down to the actual, the actual episode, I'm not expecting things to really get good until we see Veronica going over to David's house. Like, I'm not interested in the whole beginning of the episode where we're going to see Landon talking with, Justin talking with Jeffrey and Wyatt. And
I
then,
tell you what, I pray, oh my goodness, Jesus, right now, please don't let that be 7 minutes long. Please.
Don't let this be like the first episode where the first 10 to 15 minutes were those two. I don't want to see that crap. I don't want to see that crap. I mean, because here's what we do. Here's what we do know. We're going to have those three into jail. Then it's just going to be Jeffrey and Justin. Then eventually David's going to talk with Jeffrey about getting him out on bail. Then we have Oscar calling, Jim about by tomorrow morning, the money should be in your account. And then we see Jim and Catherine at Wyatt's place. So we can assume this is the next day. As he said, we're taking a little field trip over to Wyatt's place. That's when he doesn't have any money. And I think, with Jim holding Wyatt back, I would like to think he's not going to be jumping at Catherine. But I don't know what could make Wyatt snap like that and then Jim try to hold him back. Then we have the whole, Candace talking with Veronica on the phone. I'm guessing that's going to happen around the 9:20-ish mark. I feel like that's going to be a halfway point of the episode. Then, Veronica's going to leave. But before she does, Melissa's going to take her phone, send that message to Benny. Then we're going to see Veronica go over to David's house, see what she sees. And then maybe she goes back to her house and sees Benny and Melissa screwing around. That'll be one hell of a finale.
Oh, yes, it would be. Now, do you think, what about Erica? Do you think she'll die tonight?
No. As I said in that one video, I honestly don't want anybody to die tonight because it's only been 10 episodes. I could think of at least 4 to 5 characters we should cut out for a little while, but I don't think anybody should die just yet.
Let me ask you this. Here's something. All right, what?
Yeah?
So not just yet.
Yeah, not just yet. I feel like tonight shouldn't be all about setup. We need some delivery. We need some stuff to go down, but I don't think death should happen just yet. I mean, we're not going to, in my opinion, I don't think we're going to see Hannah going on that date because at the most it might be the next day in terms of that morning or early afternoon. So not to the point. Catherine might call up Hannah about coming over for that makeover, but maybe that will happen. But I feel like most of her focus is going to be at Wyatt's place. So I'm not going into this episode with, oh man, this is going to be the best episode of the season. I doubt it. I really doubt it.
Yeah, I do too. But I will tell you, when we get to the finale of the back half of this season, I have a feeling that Erica will die in that episode.
I agree. I definitely see Justin, and believe it or not, Melissa isn't in my top 2 to die. I feel like Erica and Justin are the top candidates. True, I feel like Melissa Honestly, I don't want to see her die just yet. I love this new Melissa. I feel like the old Melissa. I feel like Taylor Swift is like the what? Sorry, the old Taylor can't come to the phone. She's dead. I feel like that was. I feel like the old Melissa died in that car crash, and then this new, eye rolling, neck shaking bitch is like the new Melissa, and I love her because whenever it's never a dull scene when she's on the screen. She's not being victimized. She's not playing, a helpless damsel. She's legitimately fighting back, and I like that. So I wouldn't want her. I'd rather her stay than somebody like Justin to stay on with the same old tired storyline. And it's a shame Justin has been a main character for like, the past season and a half, and I'd rather him go than I would probably rather see Wyatt go through a whole nother drug storyline than deal with Justin. And that's saying something. And that's saying something.
Yeah.
Because even though the Wyatt story was repetitive, I feel like the whole Justin thing was being pushed down our throats. No pun intended.
Yeah, really. I've had enough of Justin. Every time, I'll tell you what. I think there was one episode this season where we didn't see Justin, and I think that was Hannah's tea, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I know one of the only scenes I like was when David confronted Justin at his desk. I did like that scene. But in terms of like the wife and whatnot, come on now. I only want to see Justin again when Pearl shows up. That's what I want to see.
And when are we going to see Pearl?
I don't know.
Maybe in the back half of the season.
I'm not saying need to, but we're going to. We're going to do like a video. I'll do my solo one. Hey Candace, how's it going? Candace T. I'll do, I always do like my solo videos, but then I do the live streams where I get other people's thoughts. And I want to do a video talking about, expectations and hopes for the back half of the season to turn this thing around, because there's a lot of things.
I've got plenty of things I can say about that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, we're going to just sit down and nail it out for like an hour, however long it takes, because there is so much that needs to happen. And I actually saw a clip about Tyler Perry kind of promoting his new movie with Tasha P. Henson. What is it? Alchemy or I forgot the name.
Acrimony.
Yeah, and he was like talking about have and have not in regards to questions, have I ever thrown a cinder block through somebody's window? Have I ever, checked through a significant other's phone? And then it's like, have I ever addressed or responded to a hater on social media? It's like, nope, I ain't got time for those, haters, bitches. I'm like, well, hopefully I don't fall into that category. I really don't care if I do, because I'm not really a hater. I just point out stuff that needs improving, because on this channel, I feel like it's well balanced. I point out stuff that's worthy of praise, like the last episode of The Pains. Heck, I did a video and a live stream. Wait, did I do both? I think I did a video, but I'll do a live stream. Yeah, because that episode was good. True, the first 7 minutes or so was a bit dragged out, but it was a good episode. So I'm all about praising it when it does good, but then not really bashing it, but kind of pointing out ways to improve. Oh, great gamer. If it's the next day, Veronica and Melissa are going to the hospital, I don't think that's going to happen in this episode. Again, there's just too much to be crammed in to 40 or 39 or 42 minutes. So I feel like everything we saw in the preview is what we're going to see in the episode. I mean, to be honest, it's sadly become predictable. I feel like one of the biggest and best surprises was when Hannah pulled the "That's your daddy." I'm like, ugh.
And it turned out, and that kind of ticked me off there for a minute, because we were so hyped about all that.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Well, and then in the first 5 minutes of that episode, that was the line. The first 5 minutes of that episode where Hannah was like, "Oh well, that's not true. You never." Oh, I was so ticked off. I was so angry.
But I think we talk about, at least the way I feel, I was mad, but they made up for it with exposition and backstory.
When we got the backstory, I was like, okay, now I feel a little bit better.
I said it to you in that live stream. I like that delivery, the suspense, the disappointment, but then they made it up for it with the backstory. Now, Melrose. Hey, Ken, according to Wikipedia, Haves and the Have-Nots returns June 19th, 2018. according to Wikipedia. So I don't know. I mean,
okay.
I mean, hey, thanks for Melrose one. Thank you very much. Wow. Yeah, that's usually around the time it comes back. Dang, it feels so far away, but honestly, time is flying by. Time is flying by. So it's going to be June 19th. What? That's only 3 months away. In 3 months, yeah. Well, anyway. What was I saying? Yeah. When it comes to the delivery, I let that go. But the whole Veronica car wreck, no. That's still one of my biggest pet peeves about this season. I don't care what anybody says.
Don't get me started on that. Oh my god.
Oh, we will get started when we do like a recap, because we'll just have like a round table discussion about the first 10 episodes, talking about the good, the bad, and ways things can be adjusted. But yeah, there's a lot.
That car wreck, I'm just gonna say, that whole thing just really ticked me off.
That, I feel like that was a precursor to this season being lackluster. From that to the whole Justin Jeffrey thing, back to the Veronica Harrington, Angela Robinson interview on ABC Soaps, because as I said, there are a list of videos. So again, everybody listening, keep your eyes peeled on the channel. The channel isn't going anywhere. This is what I do, and there's a lot to talk about. But when it comes down to the night's episode, I mean, I really want to know why Veronica's going to act the way she is, because, you know, what? They have a house? He barely even knows her. So I'm going to be, okay, I see Justin popping up in the chat a lot. Let me just address this. Well, this is kind of a spoiler to one of my future videos. If I were to pick 5 storylines, character traits, character arcs, whatever you want to call it, that need to be either adjusted or completely thrown out. Number 1, in no particular order. Number 1, Landon pining after Charles. Number 2, I guess you could say your level of disgust will let me know how you feel about each one. Number 2, the Justin pining after Jeff. Let me just say the Justin.
In my opinion, that should be the top one that goes away. Number 1.
Yeah, Justin's obsession. Justin's obsession. That's just ridiculous. Number 3, Hannah's just nonstop babying of Benny / not accepting anyone's help. That's just gotten old. Number 4, just the whole Candace scenario in the same situation of Candace and Veronica are kind of in the same position for me, in terms of they have all of these other characters calling out their bullshit. Like, Candace, you're only acting out because of your son's death. Veronica, you're way too controlling and crazy. Your son is gay, but they don't want to listen to that. There's, the saying goes, method behind the madness, but there is no method. We see the reason for why they're acting out, but I feel like they're just doing it to do it, And then the 5th one is, dang, what was that 5th one? I wrote it down somewhere, but I forgot, but I wrote it down. Just wait to the video. But yeah, there are numerous storylines and character arcs that just need to disappear, just need to go. I don't, it's just ridiculous.
See, there are numerous character arcs that need to disappear, but there are a lot that need to come back as well.
Hear that? That's an applause, because I couldn't agree more. That is just so true. That is just so true. I feel like there are way too many cooks in the kitchen.
Benny's coma, Tony's kidney, Celine. Oh, don't even. Oh my God.
Bro, you're right. I couldn't agree more. And that's the thing. I feel like this show was at its best when it was semi-believable, because, back when the show got started and Tyler Perry did interviews, he talked about, people would ask him, how do you come up with these stories? Like, what's going on in your head? It's like, look, I've seen this kind of stuff happen in my life and people I know and whatnot. And it's believable, corrupt politicians. Like, I'm not saying any names, but I remember one of my ex-coworkers back at the call center, he told me a story once about a governor from his home state, and I didn't say this to him, but I'm like, damn, this dude sounds like Jim Cryer, because the story I'm not making this up, the story he told me, I'm like, this sounds exactly like from the house, and it had to do with affairs, people disappearing, a car. I was like, what?
Are you serious?
I'm not lying. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I'll do a video on it. I mean, hey, we're all dying when you think about it. But yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. And yeah, again, that's a good all season topic to do. But then when you throw in like the whole all these black women that are just over the top, dramatic / crazy. I mean, there was a time where these crazy women were attracted, like Amanda, Candace being, you know, all controlling. But then it gets to the point where, okay, where are we going to draw the line on how crazy these people are? You know, there's no comeuppance. It's hard to believe they can get some believable form of redemption. And then, you know, homosexuality being thrown in our faces. And I know a lot of fans feel the same way. Because when Jeffrey was pining after Wyatt, yeah, it was creepy. But then when you learn more about his story, you really felt for his character. But then when you have, like, Justin coming into the mix and then you have Landon. I didn't mind Landon when he was first introduced. But now him being reintroduced, I don't like the way he's being portrayed. And the list goes on. There are just so many things about this show that just grinds my gears. Because it used to have...
I'll tell you one.
Yeah.
You know, Candace is having affairs with, like, gubernatorial candidates. And then out of nowhere, she starts seeing these presidential people.
And what... And then what, Robin, former senators and all this crap? There was a believable simplicity that made this show intriguing to watch. Because, Arnold Schwarzenegger slept with his maid and had an outside baby just like Jim and Celine. And then it's like he's working with a mob boss gang. You know, when you look at it back in the day, like Al Capone and whatnot, and other gangsters of their time, you know, they rigged elections. They owned the police and law enforcement. There was some believable qualities to the show. But then when you throw into the mix a presidential candidate and all this other stuff. And I'm not saying I hate Charles, but I don't think they introduced him in the right way. I just feel like what was that phrase from Happy Days when Fonz, jumping the shark? I feel like they just went way too over the... If Tyler Perry would have kept things a little bit above ground like he had been doing up until like, season 3 or 4, the show's quality would be a lot better than it is now, because there was enough characters to keep you intrigued, but not enough characters so that you would forget about people and then wonder, where did they go? Why did their story not get touched upon for like 3 or 4 seasons? Every time they flipped the scene from one character to another, you were interested because everybody had a story to tell. Those are just my thoughts. Yeah.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. And do you think that when we finally get this show on DVD, we'll get some deleted scenes and, you know...
I want that. I want interviews. I want to see like Jacqueline Beacom, Jennifer Maggie Day. I would love to see videos from behind the scenes and just interviews from when they first got introduced into the show. That's the stuff I live for. I just love. I'm a sucker for that stuff.
Yeah, see, me too. I love the interviews and the commentaries, and you know, even like during the episodes, there are scenes there are like selections you can go to that have like the cast will do a commentary during the episode.
Oh yeah. I would love to see what scenes are ad-libbed, which ones are actually written by Tyler Perry, because they always talk about how Tyler Perry is the kind of person to work with where he'll give you a script that's like a skeleton. And if you have an idea, he'll hear you out. And if it works, you know, he'll throw it in there. So I just think about all the times where I would love to get some insight, because sometimes the things we gripe, well, I don't even want to say gripe, the things we point out that aren't that good, there's sometimes a reason behind it why it's like, oh, well, Warlock got killed off the way he did because something happened in my life where I had to leave. Things like that, you know? Then it would give some more sense and clarity to it. So I would love to get that kind of a backstory on some characters, like, you know, who came up with the idea about Veronica and Benny, and, you know, the transition from Amanda being the crazy woman on the show to Veronica and things of that nature. So there's a lot of insight I would love to get information on if we ever get the DVDs.
Well, I'm sure eventually we'll get them someday.
I'm not saying it won't happen, but I'm just thinking about, You look at all these Tyler Perry shows that were on like what TBS, they're on DVD. Meet the Browns, House of Pain. Then for better or worse, that was on TBS. Then that got moved to OWN. Sadly, it's not on DVD yet. So, I mean, I would only buy for better or worse if it was like in the $7.50 or $5 bin. Like I wouldn't rush to buy that show if it was on DVD for like 15 or 20. But I'm going to be honest here.
Yeah, I mean, it was an okay show, but I don't understand why is like if loving you is wrong, the haves and the have-nots. Greenleaf is on DVD.
Yeah, again in Netflix, it's like if Loving You Is Wrong was on Netflix, I would go back to episode 1 and just watch all the way through. No kidding.
Have you seen all the 82 episodes of Loving You Is Wrong?
Except for like the last 4, aside from the finale. But yes, I have.
Because it's interesting. There are a lot of people in Acrimony. There are a lot of people like from the haves and the have-nots, and If Loving You Is Wrong in that movie. Like Ian from If Loving You Is Wrong is in there. Tilda, that old from If Loving You Is Wrong, is in there. One of the officers on Quincy's murder case in Candace's backyard, he's in there.
Yep, I was waiting to do a video on that once we're close to the release date because they would list out, the full cast members in the synopsis. So again, just something to look forward to after the finale tonight. But yeah, just a couple of chats here. I like how people are addressing the fact that if the show went back to its simpler roots, then it would be better. But here's my fear. As of right now, since we don't have any confirmation, I'm just going to assume the show is over in 2020. I don't see how they can turn it around at this point because they need to finish off these storylines if they do. I don't think there's any way to get back to the simple roots of it unless all these characters just magically disappear or die. I just feel like there isn't any time to turn things around, and that's sad because this show started off as like a flagship, a pillar in Tyler Perry's resume, and that's what opened the door of If Loving You Is Wrong and Too Close to Home. But by doing so, when that door was open, a lot of the air came out of the house of the haves and the have-nots. So then it became it's dang, I might have to start this as a trend. It went from too darn hot to about lukewarm. I feel like that's what the show is now.
But that's what the slogan was, too darn hot.
Yeah, that catchy song. And that was a song. I remember that. It's too darn hot. I'm like, yes. Like, that forever is my favorite trailer. Yeah, that's like the haves and the have-nots returns in January. I'm like, yeah! Because it was sizzling. It was sizzling.
Yeah, and I can't. Veronica, here's something. What if this is something that could relate to this. Veronica tonight, she goes over and sees David and Erica. What if somehow David finds out that Erica, either Veronica tells him or Candace tells him that Erica was sent there by Candace to get that money, and David and Veronica get back together, and either David takes Erica down or they both take her down together.
I would like that as long as Jim and Catherine take down Broderick together. I feel like the parallels would be great. That would be some great... It would go back to the roots of these characters getting together for a good reason. That they see something in each other that they don't see in themselves. And I would love to see teamwork like that. It's always been like a boys versus girls club ever since season 1. Veronica and Catherine, then Jim and David, and Great Gamer has chatted this 3 times. My favorite season of the show is probably season. It's either 2 or 3. I can't decide. It's either 2 or 3.
Yeah, they were both good seasons.
Yeah, because season.
Speaking of season 3, tell me how funny this is. David is involved with Erica, right?
Yep.
Veronica is involved with Benny.
Yep.
The first time you saw Erica, she was with Benny.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about that. What do you think about that? That's
Well, if you want to go down that road, look at all these people being cougars. Women are called cougars. What are men called? Sugar daddies or whatever?
Sugar daddy,
Well, look at this one. Jim and Gia, because Candace is pretty much setting up Gia to, screw over Jim in more ways than one. Broderick is trying to swindle Catherine out of money. Erica's trying to swindle David out of money. Benny's the only one not swindling somebody out of money, and he's the one that needs it the most to get the tow truck. Isn't that something? He's not looking to score a fortune. He's trying to get by and make an honest living. But he's dealing with the mob. Bro, again, I'm adding this to the list. Another video idea. It's just amazing how all these older characters are getting some. Catherine is not yet. It's coming because allegedly Broderick is supposed to be in this episode. But it's just interesting the way that is written. And I agree, throwing it back to Erica and Benny, that is interesting because Erica and David and then Benny and Veronica, wow, these people need to stay in their age range. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and Erica and Benny were the first people that you saw both of them together, and then it's like, who would have thought 2 seasons later that they would both be dealing with the Harringtons?
Exactly, and then Melissa's just, I don't know what to think about that. It's just crazy to think about. I mean, I feel like, man, some people are saying that Veronica's going to see Erica and David having sex through the window. I feel like those two will start kissing and maybe it'll get to that point, but I hope it doesn't get to that. But, I mean, it'll be an interesting throwback to when Jeffrey and Wyatt were outside the tow yard and saw Benny and Veronica having sex, and I think Wyatt recorded it on his phone, the pervert. So, I don't know. That would be interesting to say the least. So,
see, that was back when Wyatt was like, Wyatt's even gotten nicer. Did you see how nice he was to David last week?
Yeah, and Jeffrey, that was great. I loved it. I mean, yeah, that's when Jeffrey put his foot down. Like, look, I'm gay and I'm done dealing with your shit, Wyatt. I love you, but you're not going to treat me this way. And then I liked it because Wyatt was put in his place, and those two were like, 2 kids going on like a secret mission. I love that. I love that. But when it comes down to it, oh gosh, I feel like the ending of this episode, maybe it doesn't have to be Veronica catching Melissa and Benny in bed, but maybe it could be her pulling up to her house and sees Benny's car there, or Benny driving Mitch's ride, and then it's like, whoa, what's he doing here? I didn't call for him. And then that's probably the finale. Like, she opens the door, and then of course, they're upstairs getting it on. So it doesn't have to be.
Or as crazy as Veronica is, she might be thinking, oh, he came to surprise me.
Exactly, because she just got her heart broken from what she saw at
So she might be like glad he's like, oh, Benny's here.
Exactly. And then, she gets a shot. Like, she doesn't have to see it in this episode. Whoa, what the heck? Oh my God. What? Candace T, thank you so much. She sent me a picture on my Facebook messaging. That picture we see of Wyatt looking at a mirror like he's high. He's actually at the Malone bar and he's talking with Mitch's uncle. I am not making this up.
What the hell?
I know.
What the hell? In this episode?
Yes. I'm on my iPod now. I'm checking the haves and the have not Facebook page to see if they dropped a new video. Just 1 minute. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Give us some good stuff like this. Character interactions, and again, it could be a parallel to the Wyatt.
It'd be even more exciting if we were talking to Mama Rose.
Golly. Oh, okay. There's no clip yet, but I'll take the photo. Thank you, Candace T. We're doing a live stream together later this week, I promise. But yes, and oh man, I wish Mama Rose was there because you know how she doesn't like Jim, and it's like I don't give a damn about you or your son. So I would love. Again, some parallels here. The wheels in my head are turning. You know how
do you remember back before the show came on where me and you did that theory about Catherine and Mama Rose and their fathers?
Yes. That would be great.
This could be something. Wow. Why would Wyatt Cryer be talking to Benny Malone?
I know, right? It's just amazing because he could be in the bar just sulking over the fact that he's lost his money and whatnot. And then, that guy, Mitch's uncle comes over and then they start talking. Again, a parallel. Jim and David want to get to Mama Rose through her grandson and, Hannah's son, Benny. And then you have Mama Rose possibly getting to Jim through his son, Wyatt. So this will revitalize my hope in Tyler Perry's writing. This has me excited. Now I'm excited for the episode. At least that scene.
Wow.
This is great.
What if Wyatt tells him, Jim took all my money and this and that. And
it's like,
Jim's done this and he's that, and it just might.
And then him getting involved with the Malones is the reason he comes crawling back to his parents. That would be amazing.
Well, if we don't see Mama Rose tonight, I swear I hope that we see her in the back half of the season.
Yeah, you know what? I don't want her to show up tonight. No. I like this where just give us a little. What are the old people saying when they cook? Just give me a little teens of a crossover. Just these two talking to start an interaction, just like Candace and Veronica teaming up. It was just those two talking about the idea. This is.
I have a feeling because Mama Rose, when we first last season, she wasn't there in the first half. She was talked about a lot, but she wasn't there in the first half. But when the finale came and the shooting came and we got the back half of the season, that's when she showed up.
Again,
I like that.
Again, I like it when these characters aren't overutilized, but when they come on screen, some shit is about to go down. So as long as this episode could do some good setup, if it does that, then that's all a mid-season finale needs to do. Set us up so we want to come back during that second half. So I honestly don't have anything else to say because we need to save that for its own video. There are just so many things that can come from these two talk. Just like Melissa and Benny briefly talking at the ambulance at the site of the crash, and now look where they are. This could actually give Wyatt something better than this whole drug thing. So I am just, again, thank you, Candace T. I am just very excited now because I'm more excited about these two talking briefly than seeing the Veronica thing when she goes over to David's house. And that's saying something.
Wow.
Because that video...
I am too now. And actually, I hope that they get, I hope it's nothing bad between those two. I hope they kind of maybe form an alliance or they're civil towards each other.
I don't know. Maybe the way I perceive it, based on the picture, it looks like, Mitch's uncle's going to walk up to him because he possibly sees a guy who's down on his luck, and he's a white guy too, so he might be more inviting than, he was to Benny being black. He's talked about, maybe he'll talk about how he's lost all his money and stuff like that. And he's like, well, we can give you a loan. And then maybe he'll bring up his name being Crier. And then he'll probably notice that name is associated with, number one, money. And then number two, oh, Jim Crier. Oh, okay, the one Mama Rose is upset about right now and that kind of stuff. So, again, I just feel like it's an unholy alliance, but I feel like this would be a great story arc. So, I need to just say, oh, God, I want to calm down. I feel like, are there any closing thoughts? Because trust and believe, I feel like, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
One more thing I want to say is I hope that I have a top 5 list. There's 5 characters that I want to see in the back half of this season.
Stop. We're going to do that in a video. I want to get your thoughts on this because I got a list too. Now, okay. Let me be honest. I know Veronica's mom is on that list. I want to be honest.
Actually, you're right. Yes, it is.
She's number one. She's number 1 on my list, and number 2 was the guy with the lion tattoo. Lion tattoo. Now, I guess you could say. Yeah, I feel like maybe I should have two lists, like a list of all the characters I want to see. Well, top characters I want to see in the back half of the season, but then it gets divided into two groups. People we already know, and then people who haven't been introduced to the show yet. They've only been mentioned through dialogue. So, yeah, that's going to be its own video in itself because, oh, God, there are just so many things to talk about. So many things. But, oh, God. All right, for real this time, guys, any final thoughts before we close out? Because, as you know, depending on